Our Earth is running a fever. According to NASA's record, the Earth is almost 1.1 degrees Celsius warmer than it was in the pre-industrial era. The warm air, the warmer land, and the hotter seas have destroyed biodiversity and worsened climatic conditions around the globe. Air and water currents have changed, weather phenomena have intensified, our food supplies, our supply chains around the world are all getting affected. Epidemics and public health crises are on the rise, and these are partly because of the hotter Earth. We all know this. Is there anything we can do about these sad stories? Yes, certainly. Is there any good news about these extreme climatic situations? Oh yes, we still have hope. Our scientists say we have some time to correct our course. If we can use this time to do the right things, we can stop the Earth's temperature from rising further and the climate conditions to go from bad to worse. Can we outright reverse the effects of the hotter planet? Maybe not. Can we stop going further downhill? Certainly. In this episode, let's explore the good news that we still have around our climate and our Earth. Okay, the first major positive is we have time to fix the climate. How much? Around 10 years? At the current rate of fossil fuel usage, the Earth's temperature is estimated to touch 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2032. This time length is dependent on several factors such as weather and how we move away from using fossil fuels as our primary energy source, how we manage our food wastage, how trash and plastic debris, how we take care of our forests and oceans, and so much more. Until a decade ago, scientists believed that there's an inbuilt inertia in our climatic system, which means the Earth continues to heat up for many more years even after we stopped greenhouse gas emissions. That is, we stop emitting GHGs today, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere stops rising today itself. But the Earth continues to warm until many more years because the carbon dioxide stays in the atmosphere for 100 years or more. Scientists called this committed warming, and because of this, they thought it's too late to avoid the 1.5 degree threshold because some level of future warming is built into the Earth's climatic system. The good news here is that the latest climate models show that if we start reducing greenhouse gas emissions now, the atmosphere will immediately register the change and stop getting any hotter. That is, there is no committed warming. The greenhouse gases that are already in the atmosphere will balance out much faster than we earlier thought. Why? Because our forests, oceans, and our soils absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. That is why we have this new name for them, carbon sinks. So what does this mean for us? This means that as soon as we stop carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere first levels off and then starts to slowly fall because the oceans, soils, and vegetation continue to absorb the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere as they always do. Hence, temperature doesn't rise further. Look at an overflowing bucket. You close the tap, the water gradually stops spilling over. If you draw water from the bucket, the level of water in the bucket starts to lower. That's exactly how the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere levels off when we turn off the tap. Then, over the following years, our trees, oceans, soils continue to soak in the carbon dioxide. When the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere falls, the Earth's temperature stops rising. So by this logic of carbon sinks absorbing the atmospheric carbon dioxide, will the Earth's temperature drop eventually after we stop emissions? Maybe, but that will take a long time to happen. Notice that the inbuilt assumption here is that we continue to have our carbon sinks in place for them to absorb the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That is, we protect our forests, mangroves, meadows, our rivers, oceans, and lakes, right? Can we guarantee that? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to find out how you can help with these, check out this episode here. Also, please let me know if you have any questions related to climate change. You can email me or fill up the Google Form survey. Both are provided in the description below. So we now know that if we cut greenhouse emissions, the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will first level off and then start to fall. The question is, how fast can that happen? When the water from the tap runs at full speed into an overspilling bucket, it takes a little while for the runoff to stop, even after the tap is turned off, right? For the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, this leveling off can happen within 3 years after we stop emissions. That's not too much considering our history of over a century of letting the tap run so fast, isn't it? Good news indeed. It has been evident since at least 1970 that fossil fuels are the root cause of global warming, and that's why our climate warriors, activists, scientists, administrators have been consistently asking nations to substantially cut greenhouse gas emissions. If nations cut emissions faster, to the tune of what they promise at international meetings every year, we might be able to push off the day the Earth becomes 1.5 degrees Celsius hotter than what it has been 300 years ago, much farther than 2030, 2040, 2050, further. Okay, more good news. In 2018, in a special report on global warming of 1.5 degrees centigrade, the IPCC, which is a United Nations body for assessing the science related to climate change, called for rapid and far-reaching transitions in energy, land, urban infrastructure, and industrial systems. Currently, global efforts come nowhere near this magnitude or scale or speed. But the good news here is many of the means to achieve this necessary transformation already exist. We have the solutions, we have the technologies, we need to create systems to implement these. The good news is there's widespread research and innovation going on across the world. Promising climate solutions that can help us transition from fossil fuels to cleaner energy sources are coming up each day. The good news is it is possible to take the right way, the greener, the renewable, the regenerative way towards a sustainable future for us on this planet. The Drawdown Report concludes that we are equipped to begin the transformation towards a sustainable future today. If we pursue climate solutions with purpose and determination, we could reach drawdown as early as the mid-2040s. One thing to note about tackling climate issues, there are no silver bullets. There are no one big thing that we can do to solve this crisis. The climate crisis is too complex and managing it will take an orchestrated effort, a whole system of solutions. Climate solutions are interconnected as a system and we need all of them to work across individual, community, organizational, national and global scales. The next piece of good news regarding our planet's health is that, despite all the challenges, our scientists, our researchers, our climate activists, and volunteers are not giving up yet. They know that they might lose the game. Often they are fighting against bigger groups, larger corporations, stronger political wills, but they still are not giving up, and this we are very grateful for. The final piece of good news is that you are here still. That you have stayed on until now. Maybe you are trying to find ways to contribute, trying to find your tribe. That's worth celebrating. If you want to understand how you can help from your home or work or from your present situation, look out for the coming episodes, because it all starts with a little bit of knowing and understanding and one simple step. I'll see you in my next.